So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, smash the like button on this video. As you know, it helps the algorithm. Also share the video as always, guys. I've got Salman with me. We've just seen Oleksandr Uysk beat Anthony Joshua by a 12-round decision. You know, decent fight, Matt. It wasn't the most exciting. It didn't catch that much fire. There was times in the fight where, you know, AJ caught Usyk with a body shot, and it looked like maybe, you know, he had a sniff in the fight. But you know, it followed a similar pattern. I definitely think AJ did a little bit better in this fight than he did in the first one. But it followed a similar pattern. AJ just a little bit too slow. Doesn't really have the gas tank, to throw a lot of punches. I feel like there's a bit of mental fragility there. Somehow, how did you see it? What did you see with this fight? You know, were you impressed? Were you not impressed? What did you make of Usyk, Joshua? What did you make of it?
I thought the first few rounds were similar to the first one, to be honest. I thought Joshua would come out the blocks a lot more quicker and, you know, let more... load go early on in, you know, round 1, 2, 3, 4. But it seemed like he started working the body more and after round 7, which I didn't understand that, to be honest, because if he had done that from round 1, round 2, round 3, when his punches would have been a lot more harder, he might have had, you know, he might have had more success. But maybe you're right that, you know, because of the stamina, he probably thought that, you know, if I let everything go now, I'm not going to be able to go the 12 rounds. And, you know, that sort of mindset maybe wasn't right. But maybe at the end of the day, he gave everything he had. He just, you know, this guy was just, you know, that one level above. And he'll always be that one level above.
Salman, did you think Robert Garcia made a huge difference? I mean, they were saying that he was going to come out aggressive in round 4 or 5. Yeah. Is it just the case that Joshua, like we said, that can he fight like Maidana? Can he fight like? Is it just the case he just can't fight like that? You know, yeah, he is what he is.
It's like, the thing is, no matter what coach you got, yeah, there was a bit of difference. Yeah, you could see that he was trying to be a bit more dirtier. But at the end of the day, he's not that sort of fighter. He's a counter puncher. He likes to pick his shots, and against someone like Usyk, you can't fight like that. That sort of style will never beat Usyk. You know, you need to have roughhouse, dirty tactics, and the problem is, you know, Joshua can't follow that sort of game plan because he doesn't have the engine to do it.
Guys, you know what? I want your opinion on this. What I saw, I mean, was quite staggering, to say the least. I mean, there was time where they went in the clinch, and they normally say the bigger man, you know, can use his weight and power. Like, Joshua's huge, but Usyk was pushing him off. There are many times where Joshua grabbed Usyk, and Usyk was literally throwing him off. And I'm like, how is that possible? Joshua's so much bigger. That how is this guy just throwing him off? It's just a case where I think Joshua's so fatigued that Usyk is just lobbing him about. Someone, you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, I've seen that in quite a few of Joshua's fights, even against Klitschko, when he emptied the tank.
But Klitschko, I mean, Klitschko's a big man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being dashed around against Klitschko is not... I mean, he's a very big man himself, but we're talking about Usyk, who's 6'3", who's about 20 pounds.
To show that it's the fatigue then. It's basically, he doesn't... obviously, once the gas, you know, the gas tank, you know, goes low, you know, even a midget could throw him around. It's just that's how it is. He doesn't have no stability at that point because he gets fatigued. And I've seen it when Joshua gets fatigued. He's easily, you know, you can easily maneuver him around.
So back to the original question. What do you think Robert Garcia brought?
I thought, you know, at times Joshua was a bit more dirty. He was throwing lower shots. He was throwing a lot more to the body. But early on, I thought that, oh no, that this is just, you know, what's the difference between Robert Garcia and Robert McCracken? But then later on, then we obviously seen he started to be more dirty. He started throwing below the belt, starting to throw, you know, mean body shots. But yeah, I don't really...
Too little, too late?
Yeah, it's too little, too late. You know, I don't know what instructions they were... I couldn't hear what they were saying in the corner. But, you know, he didn't do it early enough, in my opinion, from what I was watching. And, you know, later on, you start to fatigue and your punches don't have the same power. But, you know, that's obviously... Joshua needs to know that himself. It's got nothing to do with the trainer. He could have any trainer. he's still going to perform the same, because the thing is that the fighter needs to have the IQ himself, that this is what I've got to do. And I just don't think he has the IQ to match, Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is just, an all-round better fighter, and he's proven it over the 2 fights now. So there's no doubt, really, in my opinion, there's no doubt, and that's it now. And now he's obviously, we'll have to see what, Joshua wants to do now.
Salman, what did you make of the scorecards at the end? I mean, there was a split decision.
I don't think it was a split decision. I think Usyk won the fight fair and square. But God knows what that referee, I don't know what that referee was watching, because he gave AJ the fight 150. I don't know, but I didn't have it like that. To be honest, I don't really know how many rounds Joshua actually won. I would need to rewatch it, but I'm probably guessing 3 or 4 at most. But that referee gave Joshua 7 rounds, and Judge gave him 7 rounds, and I don't know where the 7 rounds come from, to be honest. At maximum, you could probably give him 4 or 5 if you're being really generous.
I don't think it was that close a fight. I mean,
what were the other scorecards? 150.
Yeah, they weren't that. I mean, they weren't that wide. Now, even last time the score, it seemed like Usyk won pretty comfortably, but the scorecards were pretty close. I reckon it was probably a fight where Usyk probably won about 8 rounds and Joshua probably 4. Maybe
this fight.
I felt like it was this one. I felt like it was a bit like a Canelo Bivol type fight, where it was pretty obvious who won the fight. I don't think there was any. I don't think you can say there was any dispute on who won that fight, man.
Usyk
to
won
give
the fight.
one. I mean, for one judge to give that fight to Usyk, I actually thought that
if Joshua had won this fight, it would have been classed as a robbery.
I felt like it was pretty obvious after the fight. I think we were all knew Usyk had won, and I felt like even the commentators knew. I don't think it was any debate on who won the fight, but the fact that one judge gave it him, it shows that it's embarrassing, really. How that judge could have scored it in favor of Joshua, I do not know. But I think the main thing is with Joshua, Salman, what do you think? I mean, we'll come on to Usyk in another video, but Salman, what do you think Joshua does next? And do you think he needs to call it a day? Do you think there's still fights out there for him?
I personally think he needs to obviously dust himself off now, have some time off, and obviously then make a decision. But personally, I think there's fights out there for him. I think he's got another couple of years, 2-3 years left in the sport.
But Salman, Johnny Nelson says, knowing Joshua the way he knows him, Joshua wouldn't want to be obviously now we know that Joshua's not the best in the division. I mean, he's not the best, but we probably knew that before this fight. But Johnny Nelson has a good valid point that does Anthony Joshua really want to stay in the sport when he knows that he's not the best? He knows as long as Oleksandr Usyk is there, he's always going to be second best. He's never going to be the best. So would Joshua want to stay around? I personally think he should stay around, because I personally think there's fights with Deontay Wilder. That is a fight that I wanted to see. And look, Deontay is continuing, and you could say he's not the best because he lost to Tyson Fury. But
he's coming off like a devastating knockout as well.
Yeah.
Joshua's not coming off of like a devastating knockout. Do you know what I mean? So I think you're right. I think Joshua should continue. I think he should dust himself off and then start. I wouldn't go straight into Deontay Wilder. I would probably, because the thing is, you got to realize you can't go tough fight. You got to probably have a couple of fights where you can get into it.
Look, I think Joshua.
He deserves
people think I hate on Joshua, to be honest, but I don't. I actually think Joshua's a good fighter and he's done very well. I actually think I didn't think he'd beat Usyk the first time. I didn't think he'd beat Usyk this time. I think it was pretty obvious. I mean, who the superior fighter is now, and all the people that were criticizing me and saying Joshua's going to knock him out and this, that, and the other. I think you can clearly see now who's the superior out the two. The point I'm going to make is I think Joshua's just had too many hard fights now. I mean, he's going back to back fighting these top elite guys, and I feel like he needs to have I feel like his confidence right now is a bit shot as well. Mentally, I've always thought at times he can show a bit of fragility, but I think now he needs to have a rest, and then he needs to fight a few fight a few easy fights. He might not want that because what he's done throughout his career is always taken tough fights and against top 10, but I think he needs a bit of confidence. He needs to fight guys that he can beat, so he can build his confidence back up. But really, let's be honest, there's a Fury fight still. There's a Wilder fight still. There's a Dillian White fight still. There's some big money fights out there for him. But at the end of the day, we just don't know what he decides to do. But Salman, what did you make of his? What did you make of him at the end? You know, a lot of people saying that was Usyk's time, and Joshua was kind of acting really funny. We found it really bizarre that when he took the mic and he threw the belts. And what did you make of all of that?
I don't know what happened. Did someone say something to him, or did he just lose?
Yeah. Then he went out. He looked like he was really angry about something.
Yeah, exactly. It seemed like someone was saying something to him where he wanted to go beat someone up. And He just lost his marbles, and then he really kind of stole that moment, really. From Usyk, but maybe it's just all the rage in him. He wanted to win that badly, put everything into this camp. And to be honest, you could tell that he wanted to win. Do you know what I mean? He wanted to win. He really did want to win, and that's why probably he just got so angry. He was just he obviously rage quitted. Like, he just got the mic and he didn't let Usyk have his time. It was a bit bizarre, a bit out of character. But as the guy said, Fraser Clark, someone should have come up to him and, calmed him down and be like, Joshua, take him to a side, speak to him, calm him down.
At that time, he didn't seem like he wanted to be. I didn't understand it. I found it really bizarre. It was like, what was he doing? Some of the stuff that he was saying was a bit bizarre as well. He didn't say anything offensive or anything, but I just found like someone's not right. Like, they've been beat and they just kind of lost the plot. It seemed a bit like that, and I don't know where, I don't know with Joshua. Like, I think he's done very well for himself. I do think there's flaws in his game, and I think, bearing in mind the flaws that he's got, he's achieved a lot in the game, man. He's made a lot of money. I don't think he can beat Oleksandr Usyk. I just don't think he has the mentality, he has the speed, the movement. I just think
the skill level.
He's just too static, and Usyk, Usyk is beatable, but Anthony Joshua is not the man. Anthony Joshua is not the guy that can do it, and I think we've seen that over the two fights, over the 24 rounds. And I think Usyk, we'll come on to Usyk in the next video. But yeah, guys, leave your thoughts. I thought Joshua I think he did the best he could. I think he did the best. He tried his best. But unfortunately, I just don't think he has the skills, the footwork. And, he's effectively relying on catching him with one punch and potentially earning. But Usyk, as he showed in the first fight, he's got a granite chin. He showed in this fight that he's got a pretty good chin. Maybe there's a question mark around his body. But yeah, I think it's a tough ask to beat Oleksandr Usyk. So there's no shame, and that's why I think. And it's not like Joshua got totally annihilated. He got knocked out and wiped out in 4 or 5 rounds. He put up a good account of himself. He didn't disgrace himself, so he definitely can come again. And I think the sport is much better with Anthony Joshua in it. It's just that obviously he's not going to be considered the best anymore. He was like, when he fought Ruiz and he got beat by Ruiz, he came back and beat Ruiz. Now that's back-to-back defeats. He's now got 3 losses. So, where does he, in his head, what is he thinking? Does he think I can come back and I can beat, come back and beat Wilder, beat these guys? Probably does. There's still huge money fights out there for him. So we have to wait and see. But, it was a great performance by Oleksandr Usyk. He did what he had to do. Joshua came and tried, but unfortunately Joshua just wasn't good enough. Salman, you want to add anything?
No, I agree. He's had 2 goes at it, and I think, the deserved winner got the fight.
Leave your thoughts, guys. Smash the like button, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.